Nigerian's President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday said there is no going back on fuel and electricity tariff hike in the country. Buhari, who spoke at the first-year Ministerial Performance Review retreat at the State House Conference Center, Abuja, said, regrettably, government could not go back on its decision to deregulate the petroleum sector and allow the forces of demand and supply at the international level to detect the prices of premium motor spirits. The president, who was represented by the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, said the COVID-19 pandemic had led to a severe downturn in the funds available to finance its budget and had severely hampered government's capacity to deliver.
The COVID-19 pandemic has led to a severe downturn in the funds available to finance our budget and has severely hampered our capacity. One of the steps we took at the beginning of the crisis in March, when oil prices collapsed at the height of the global lockdown, was the deregulation of the price of premium motor spirit, such that the benefit of lower prices at the time was passed on to consumers. This was welcomed by all and sundry. The effect of the deregulation is that pump prices of petrol will change with changes in global oil prices. This means, quite regrettably, that as oil prices go higher, we could see some increases in pump price. This is what has happened now. When global prices rose, it meant that the price of petrol locally would also go up. There are several negative consequences if government should even attempt to go back to the business of fixing or subsidizing petroleum prices or PMS prices. First of all, it will mean a return to the costly subsidy regime. Today, as we've heard, we have 60% less revenues. We simply cannot afford the cost. The second danger is the potential return of fuel queues, which has thankfully become a thing of the past. Nigerians no longer have to endure long queues just to buy petrol, often at highly inflated prices. Also, as I hinted earlier, there is no provision for fuel subsidy in the revised 2020 budget, simply because we are not able to afford such a cost. If reasonable provisions must be made for health, education, and other social services, we simply cannot sustain petroleum subsidies. Nevertheless, I want to assure our compatriots that Nigeria is extremely mindful of that the government is extremely mindful of the pains that higher prices may mean at this time, and we do not take the sacrifices that all Nigerians have had to make for granted. We will continue to seek ways and means of cushioning the pains, especially for the most vulnerable in our midst. We will also remain alert to our responsibility to ensure that marketers do not exploit citizens by raising pump price arbitrarily. This is the role that government must play through the PPRA. This explains why the PPRA made the announcement a few days ago, setting the range of price that must not be exceeded by marketers. The advantage we have now is that anyone can bring in their petroleum products and compete with marketers. That way, the price of petrol will keep coming down. The recent service-based tariff adjustment by the DISCOs has also been a source of concern for many of us. Let me say frankly that, like many Nigerians, I've been very unhappy about the quality of service given by the DISCOs. But there are many constraints, including poor transmission and distribution capacity. I've already signed off on the first phase of the Siemens project to address many of these issues. Because of the problems with the privatization exercise, government had to keep supporting the largely privatized electricity industry. So far, to keep the industry going, we have spent close to 1.7 trillion naira, especially by way of supplementing tariff shortfalls. We simply do not have the resources at this point to continue in this way, and it will be grossly irresponsible to borrow to subsidize generation and distribution, which are both privatized. But we also have a duty to ensure that the large majority of our people who cannot afford to pay cost-effective tariffs are protected from increases. NERC, the industry regulator, therefore approved that tariff adjustments had to be made, but only on the basis of guaranteed improvement in service. Under this new arrangement, only customers who are guaranteed a minimum of 12 hours of power and above can have their tariffs adjusted. Those who get less than 12 hours supply, or the band D and E and F customers, must be maintained on lifeline tariffs, meaning that they will experience no increase in their tariffs. This is the largest segment of our population. Government has also taken notice of the complaints about arbitrary estimated billing. Accordingly, a mass metering program is being undertaken to provide meters for over 5 million Nigerians, largely driven by preferred procurement from local manufacturers and creating thousands of jobs in the process. NERC has also committed to strictly enforcing the capping regulation, which will ensure that unmetered customers are not charged beyond the metered customers in their neighborhood. In other words, we will not permit estimated billing anymore. In addressing the power problems, we must not forget that most Nigerians are not even connected to electricity at all. So as part of the economic sustainability plan, we're providing solar home systems to 5 million Nigerian households in the next 12 months. We have already begun the process of providing financing support through the CBN for manufacturers and retailers of off-grid solar home systems and mini-grids who are to provide the systems. The 5 million systems under the ESP solar power strategy will produce 250,000 jobs and impact up to 25 million beneficiaries through the installation. This means that more Nigerians will have access to electricity via a reliable and sustainable solar home systems